about the things that digital industry does not tell you, but experts want you to know. All right. So can we give a round of applause to Jen?
All right, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. For those of you streaming this, watching this online or by video as well, thank you so much for the next 30 minutes, right? My main topic today is not just going to be about me. It's not going to be about my company even. I really just want to focus on this one point, which is about the digital industry. As you know, the digital industry today is ever changing, right? There's so many things happening on the digital industry, and many of you here may be looking even for a digital job. But the problem is that within the digital industry, there are a lot of chatters among employers, right? Where employers like myself and some of my friends meet up, right? We start talking about, oh, how come candidates today don't know this thing? You know, why aren't the universities teaching them? Why are they not ready, etc., etc. And we go on talking and talking and talking. So when I was invited by Hirely, they asked me, hey, what do you want to talk about? I said, okay, let's reveal some industry secrets. So if I have any industry friends wherever you are, please pardon me, don't kill me after this, because I'm revealing some of our conversations, right? But it's for the best of all of us, so that candidates and the industry be more future-proof in that sense. But one of the main reasons why we like to talk about this topic, why is this even a topic where employers want to gather and talk about, is simply because we can't deny the fact that marketing and technology today has kind of combined. We are actually living in a world whereby everything is connected, multi-channel, multi-everything. But the problem is that there's this misconception where people think that, hey, if I'm joining the digital industry, it's going to be social media. And you talk about social media, everybody's mindset will be, oh, create content, no? Create posts, lor, have to be creative, lor. But I'm not creative. How? What can I do if I'm not creative? Does that mean I'm not suited in digital? Or even worse, today digital means influencer. I need to have X amount of followers, then only. But the reality of digital, when we in the industry talk about it, we usually refer to it as a customer journey. In short, right, when we talk about digital marketing or digital outreach, it's always the art of connecting different channels to increase overall communication or engagement for the brand. So that is why what you see on screen, right, is a very dumbed down version of a customer journey, because I'm pretty sure nobody wants to go through the technicalities on a weekend. But what you see here, right, I'm sure a lot of us can relate to say that this is kind of like our day-to-day life. The moment we wake up, we are with one screen or another, one channel or another. Some of us, we wake up and we can't help but to go through all our WhatsApp. Some of us will go online and immediately start watching TikTok videos, and then, oh, yo, too late, I miss work, I miss class, you know. We keep scrolling through the scroll hole. And as we go along as well throughout the day, we keep ourselves exposed to all these different channels. But it's so strange, because as a consumer, we know these things. Right, when you say, oh, do you use apps? Do you use digital channels? Yes, of course. And we get to present all these different things. But the moment we become an employer, then we forget all these things. And we say, oh, no, Facebook, Instagram. Oh, what's trending right now? TikTok. Oh, okay, TikTok, let's do TikTok. And then we forget that as a consumer, day by day, we spend so much time doing channel switching, screen switching. And we become so obsessed to, oh, UI, UX designer, design our app only, our website is okay. Or we focus so much on the website, we forget our emails is part of the experience as well. Or we focus so much on email, we forget that even WhatsApp, or for some companies, maybe even WeChat, or even the content you put up, is there any relation or not? Or is it really just a shock scenery approach? That is why today's topic is really about telling you, if there's anything else you can take away, is to at least remember this point. When we talk about digital marketing, it's no longer just about selling alone. It's not. In fact, if you approach digital marketing just solely on a perspective of selling, that is also why, honestly, agency friends, don't kill me, agencies are also facing problems. They're also facing challenges. Because brands today, brands are here as well, you will probably also agree that just spending money on advertising and selling no longer attracts your customer. Why? Customer becomes smarter. Do you know that there's a research done, right? And through this research, this research company shows that consumers today, especially post-pandemic, has become a lot more demanding. They become a lot smarter. I mean, think about it. Even our parents these days knows how to buy things online. They use e-wallets. They're very active on the marketplaces. They are more savvy than us sometimes. You know, with some of these apps. They know things faster than us, which is crazy. But that is the world that we live in right now. But even them, when they see ads, right, they know for the very first instant, if they can, to skip it. I mean, if I have to do an honest poll here, how many of you will wait patiently to finish watching all the YouTube ads that come in between, then you continue on with the show? You're probably like, that's crazy, man, I wouldn't. Do you know that there was another data that was gathered, right, that said that the speed of people clicking on the skip ad, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, right? You want to take a guess, you know, in how many seconds it was being skipped? Data shows not even 1 second, 0.2. You know what that means? That means all of us 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Already start clicking, right? Exactly. That's why the stats show 0.2 seconds. But that's true. So when brands and digital marketers just purely focus on how to buy ads, how to sell, how to get more people in, that is the problem because us consumers keep rejecting this. So when we always talk about digital marketing, it's actually a combination of 3 things right now. It's the well usage of technology. Very important, right? Because as consumers, we use tech. So for brands to be more effective, brands would also need to understand how can I best use technology to attract my customers. That's one. And then it's also a psychological game. I mean, you think about it. What makes you as a customer stop scrolling? Right? What makes you stop on one content and scroll past on the other? It's a psychology thing, right? Because somehow this content appeals. Oh, this cat's so cute. Let me stop. Oh, this person seems to know his stuff, right? Very educational. Oh, I'm very curious. Where did the volcano erupt? And we start going through all this because this attracts us. It's a psychological thing. It's a human thing, right? And then there's also a management aspect. This is where all our roles come in. If we are going into digital industry, a lot of times it's about us managing these 2 things. How do we manage tech? How do we manage psychology? So that the impact becomes bigger to the customers your brand, your companies are looking out for. So if you miss the introduction bit, my name is Jan. And I come from a company called Open Minds, and we consult hundreds of brands on a yearly basis, not just in the area of digital marketing, but in the area of marketing technology. So what we do is we use data, we use a lot of proprietary frameworks to help clients figure out what is the best way to do marketing using technology. And of course, in the past, we have served a lot of clients within the region in which it's coming out of the screen as well. We are within 3 countries in Malaysia, Hong Kong, and Singapore. We have done a lot of work across the region. At the same time, we also have an academy that runs within Southeast Asia that focuses on delivering all our insights for free, by the way, to whoever that's interested. You can actually go check us out. But today is really not about me, because then comes the big question, right? After all of these things, what do you need to know? What do you need to know? Right? Just 3 things, and then I'll wrap up this session already. All good? Cool. All right. First point, very simple, but many people forget this, right? The first point, again, digital marketing is not about social media, please. For those of you pursuing, maybe you're still studying, you're pursuing your studies in digital marketing or social media, or you're really looking towards a job change or really looking for a job within the digital industry, this is the first thing you need to know. It's not just social media. So if you think just by you being active on Facebook, active on TikTok, active on social platforms, and you think you're a master at it, right? Let me show you on the slides behind me right now. Social media is just one out of many other things when it comes to digital marketing. Because again, we talked about customer journey earlier, right? That's why you see esports or games being part of the life cycle as well. You look at mobile app, it's also there. The marketplaces they are exposed to. You look at emails, messenger. But you think about it, isn't it true? As a consumer, we expose ourselves to these things before making a purchase decision, right? But somehow as a marketer, we forget. And then, oh, okay, boss, ad budget, how much? Not enough. Cannot buy ads or cannot do digital marketing. But reality is, it's not like that. There's so many other things to consider. And it's not just these individual things, When you break it up to even job roles, you will see that digital marketing is also actually a little bit of content creation. Obviously, that is something all of us know. But it's also a bit of branding and advertising. We also know that. But many people don't know that there's a CRM component. Customer relationship management. How can you use digital tools to maintain that ongoing relationship with customers? Many people think, send newsletters or email, blast, blast, blast. One side blast, blast, blast. One side block, block, block. One side blast, blast, blast. One side say mark as spam, mark as spam, mark as spam. It's not enough, right? But that is one area of CRM as well to consider. Then there's community building. How can a brand build a digital community? Just like what's happening at this event right now, right? You are here physically, but all of you watching the video, what of you streaming through the VR platform that's provided, that is also part of community building and management. So it's not just here, but usage of technology to extend digital reach. And then there's also PR and e-commerce and tech. All this falls under the jurisdiction of digital. So that means that if you're pursuing a career in digital, you don't necessarily just end up as a content creator. You don't just necessarily end up as, create one posting every day, 3 postings every day, design, write stuff. That is just one small aspect when it comes to digital marketing. That's the first point. The second point, also regarding roles, is that when you go down to the details, when you look at job description these days, right? And this is where a lot of employees are a little bit sly about it as well. They will tell you content, come and create content only. So easy, right? Don't tell them, Okay, so I guess I've ended my sharing. But really, right? There are actually other aspects that employers also expect candidates to do today. So if you look at these 5 different points over here, right? You see that content is just one part. Because sure, when you talk about digital, we are all visually driven, right? So that needs to have content, for sure. That is something we cannot escape. But beyond that, they are also looking for capabilities like, do you know how to plan your content? Not just do the content, but also plan for it. Do you know how to strategize for it or not? If you know how to strategize for it, can you also think beyond just engagement content? Can you also think from an advertising part? Do you know how to create content for ads compared to just ongoing engagement, kind of content? Right? Then, there's this whole element of analytics and management as well. Are you able to manage the community? Are you able to manage the different complaints that are coming in? Are you able to manage the different traffic from different sources? These are also things to consider. And then data also plays a very big role. And just by these 5 points over here, right, you will see then this is where the sly part comes in, right? Because this then tweaks your role. Now, they expect you to know everything, but it kind of tweaks your specialism a little bit. For example, if you are then good in strategy, good in data, a little bit of management, then you call a data analysis, a digital analysis or data analysis. And if you change this a little bit to, let's say, very strong in strategy, very good in ads, and then you know your data stuff, you're called a performance marketer, still in the digital realm. And then you look at another one, maybe right now you're good at content, you're good at strategy, a bit of data, you become a content creator. Right? Likewise, again, for this, it's a social media executive, content strategy management. So if you look at this, you realize that you cannot escape any of these 5 points. As you pursue your digital career, they actually expect you to have a combination of these things with a specialism. And that is a direction you would then need to decide. Do I want to start off here? What are my strengths today? Because some of you, this could be your first entry into this job, right? And you're thinking, what are my strengths? What kind of roles should I apply to? I want to be interested in the digital industry. So what you can do is you can take these 5 points and map it out. Are you good in content? Are you good with data? Are you good at ads? Are you good with strategy? Are you good in management? And from there, that could be your entry. And then if you like to move in the digital industry, you like to see if there's any alternative roles, then you can use this as a guide to see what are the skills you also need to build, right? Then comes also my third and final point. Now, this slide is kind of self-explanatory, but these are also things, right? I would call this a wish list. A wish list of employers. Now, every time I employ somebody that comes in a digital role, right? And then we understand that the JD is there, but we secretly hope you can also do these things. That's why this slide, I call it the skills of unfair advantage. So you can see here, right? These hard skills on screen, other than the mandatory technical ones, okay? So what I mean by that is that obviously if you want to become a performance marketer, you better know how to buy ads on Facebook. You better need to know what's your SEM techniques. You need to know all this technical stuff, right? If you want to create content, you better know how to use Photoshop or at least Canva, for example. So these are the mandatory skills. But beyond the mandatory skills, there are hard skills that a lot of employees also wish for. So when you join, they secretly hope that, do you know that if you have a bit of coding base, now, you don't need to write apps or create very complicated fancy websites, right? Design a VR, AR integration with blockchain. You don't need anything of that. Simple HTML, if you're able to navigate, make landing pages, maybe you know how to configure WordPress a little bit, that is already a huge advantage. Because again, if you just know design, but you're unable to translate design into tech, it's not to say that you cannot find a job, just that again, this gives you an unfair advantage. Because I mean, think about it, where would your design land up, right? You'll probably be on a website, it could be on an app, somewhere. If you can go that extra mile, wow, employers suka. They suka sangat if you have this kind of talent, right? On top of that, same goes to UI, UX design. Because the problem is that with a lot of digital candidates out there, they are very good conceptually. You know what this means? This means I can go to websites, ugly lah, the banner should be like that, this should be like that, button should be like that, should. But they cannot do. Not only they cannot do, they cannot suggest. Because they don't have the technical understanding of UI, UX. But imagine you going in there and you're able to comment and say, no, the banner should not be done this way because the user journey is XYZ. And because XYZ is not done, it affects what we are doing on the sales side, on the marketing side. You see how compelling you can be as a candidate rather than, boss, I just think red color button don't work. Why? Ugly lor. What's that? Right? So that's why UI UX. And you go through, right, obviously you will see some of the, what I call production skill sets, like photography, video production, graphic design, copywriting. Those are quite common. But if there's one thing to pick among the hard skill, right, to me it's always a coin toss between the basic coding or data analysis. Today, we are moving into a world where a lot of companies are trying to validate or determine the ROI of what they are spending. And the problem with a lot of digital candidates, again, that don't understand data. They know how to spend money because the colleges and unis teach you that, right? In your assignments, what is the budget? How much you're going to spend? But very rarely they'll come back to you, what is the ROI? And then you're like, I don't know. What are the key important metrics to track? I don't know. But if those are the skills that you can pick up and you talk beyond just how many likes, how many shares, how many engagement, that becomes an advantage. Because now in your proposals, in your campaign, in whatever that you do, you are very sure with what is the data. And from the data itself, you're able to propose what's next. This becomes highly, highly valuable. Then as we speak about hard skills, there's always this component of soft skills also lah. You'll be surprised, right? You think that in the marketing field, in the business field, you see candidates that are probably supposed to be good with presentation, but they're not. They come into the interview, you ask them to present what they have done on their Facebook campaign or whatever projects they've done in the past, and they open a Facebook page and, I did this lor. And okay, what did you do? Right? They're not able to articulate the strategy behind. So what I'm trying to say is that I'm not asking you to be like a TED Talk speaker or be very good in public speaking. It's all about how you're able to communicate or convey your concept, your ideas, whatever that you have done to effectively, not just to your boss, but to your clients. Because you need to know when clients engage you in the digital industry, they expect you to know your stuff, yes. But they also expect you to help them understand what's going on. It's not like I develop 10 content and show you, look nice or not, oh nice, but why? Looks great, maybe? It doesn't work that way, right? So that's why presentation becomes important. But one of the main things under the soft skills, because I think a lot of it are quite self-explanatory as well, is actually two things I want to highlight, right? The adaptability and flexibility. That's very important in the digital industry because things change every day. I don't know how many of you remember Clubhouse. Have you heard of Clubhouse? Yeah, I see a lot of heads nodding here as well. You realize that during the pandemic, Clubhouse was a thing, right? Everybody's like, Clubhouse, is there invite? Please invite me, please sir. Android, sorry, iPhone first. Everybody got 3, 5 invites to give away. It becomes so precious at that point. How many of you are still on Clubhouse today? But things change so fast, right? For those of you that are a bit more mature, you probably remember this as well. You think about how Instagram was before Meta or Facebook bought over. It used to be a highly creative platform. Like literally, it's not just creators. The creators are not the creators we know today. Back then were really artists, right? People that are good in photography, people that visual arts, that publish. It's like a portfolio thingy over there. Then when Facebook bought over, it became more lifestyle. And many people drop off the platform. It changed. Back then, there was a platform called Vine. Remember? During the Snapchat era, where are they right now? Right? So there are a lot of these changes within the industry. And now people are talking about metaverse, AR, VR, and all these newer platforms coming out. If you are not flexible and adaptable, you will lose out, really. Because you will always be the person, your company or your client will look to you and say, hey, everybody is talking about this right now, Where are we? Then you're like, I never heard of this. That puts you at a disadvantage. And the last one, like I said, I wanted to point out was existing network. If you are really interested and serious in the digital industry, it never hurts to already start building your existing network. I'm not talking about network of you know somebody. I'm talking about your profile, right? It's always mind-boggling, right? When people want to be within the digital industry, but their social media profiles are private. You want to develop a career within there, but it's 100% private. Your LinkedIn is private. Your Facebook is private. Your Instagram is private. Everything is private. Then what do you want me to see? What do you want me to say? What kind of credibility are you trying to tell me? I cannot. And the fact is, it could be petty or whatnot, but employers do look at these things, right? They want to see actually what you are doing. The skill sets, they're not trying to stalk you, What they're trying to do is they're really trying to see this skill set of yours, whatever that you have, does it apply to me as an organization or not? So imagine if you're applying for a role for community manager, right? Which is an interesting role. And then your profile is not only private, but you only got 10 followers. Your father, mother, your siblings, your cousin, that's it. And what kind of community, right? But imagine you're going in there with 1,000, 10,000, 50,000, 100,000 as a community manager. It speaks a lot to your profile. And these are things not found in your CV. It's found in you as your own personal profile. And that gives you a significant advantage over many candidates. So in short, if you're really thinking of building a career, don't just focus on the hard skills. The hard skills are absolutely important, but because it's a digital career, you need to also start building your digital portfolio so that your credibility is defined not just by your CV or your printed PDF portfolio or the cover letter, but by the digital presence where people can go in and validate. Some people ask me, hey Jen, this sounds like I'm creating kind of like a Tinder profile, for people to see and get to know me. It's less of that. Instead of thinking of a Tinder profile, think of it more like a Google Map review. It's like you going to a restaurant and I tell you, downstairs is a very good cafe. And then you say, yes sir. Then what do? You go up to Google, you pull up and you see 1-star rating. 1,000 people said bad. They're like, okay. Or you went to Google and it's not you cannot find any bit of information. At the very least, there's this skepticism that comes into your mind, can I really trust what this guy is saying. Now translate that into your portfolio. You go into the interview and you're so confident, right? This is my CV, this is my portfolio, I can do these things, I build communities, I buy ads, I do this stuff. I go in your profile and it's not there. That becomes a problem. So that is why you need to know that if you're really interested in digital, you need to know that today's business, you are the core function. That is why strategy becomes important. That's why management, advertising, content, analytics, all these elements becomes important. And if you can build them, that's how you make yourself far more employable to a lot of companies than just, fighting against the many others out there. With that said, I've also come to the end of my presentation. For those of you who like to stay in touch, more than happy to hit me up on LinkedIn, Instagram, wherever there is. If you have questions, I'll be around here to also take them. But if not, I will just connect with you online, right? Thank you so much. See you. Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you so much, Jen. Jen, can I have you back on the stage for a while? All right. So as a token of appreciation, we have something for you. All right. These are car stickers.